Welcome to the Business of Beauty, where we help beauty entrepreneurs in building their business and reaching their dreams. This is your host, David Lee. Our guest today is proud of setting out to create a sustainable careers and opportunities for other passionate skincare professionals and really empower them to become industry experts. Her superpowers is matchmaking to form a strong bonded community of business owners and entrepreneurs. She is transforming lives and cosmetically changing destinies by empowering fellow skincare professionals, business owners, and their clients through mindfully made science-driven solutions for greater body, mind, soul connection. So welcome to the show, Kaelin Jutras at Herbal Skin Solutions.
Thank you so much for having me, David. I'm really excited to be part of the Beauty Biz Tribe.
Nice. So, again, thank you so much. And let's dive right into it. So first of all, can you tell us a little bit about your business and I guess how it works?
Sure. Yeah, there's a lot of different avenues to it. Gosh, that's a fully loaded question, but I'll do my best to explain. So there is Herbal Skin Solutions, which is our platform for organic, naturally derived, effective cosmeceuticals. And every single product or device that I onboard is something that comes from a need. So we're all about sustainability. We're not creating products just to create what already exists. We're either refining what is already out there, making it better than ever before. And we're also taking our customers, the estheticians, the doctors, the licensed professionals who are working in the treatment room, and we're creating their needs and bringing, we're not creating their needs, but we're bringing their needs to life more so. And the Esthetics Academy is our sister platform for advanced modalities and education. So all of our trainings are Department of Business and Professional Regulation approved. We've created curriculum and taught all throughout the United States to share microneedling, nanoinfusion, and dermaplaning.
Wow. So now there's two parts, I guess.
Yes.
I guess would you say two different businesses, right? In this case, or do you consider that as one whole business?
We intermingle quite a bit. Herbal Skin flows into the Esthetics Academy and vice versa, but there are some differences. So Herbal Skin Solutions was born from a need. It's something I created for my clients when I was full-time in the treatment room. And when you are full-time in the treatment room, there's another full-time job that comes outside of practicing, and that's doing all of the research behind every single product and device that you onboard. So we do the research and we partner and collaborate with other companies that are backed by science and have exceptional clinical data and results-oriented education and modalities there. And the Esthetics Academy is more of our unbiased platform. So when you get out of school for aesthetics, most skincare lines have a really high minimum order. It's typically around $4,000 or $5,000 that you have to meet if you want to onboard those products. With Herbal Skin, of course, there's no minimum order, but I wanted our students to get their hands on as many high quality products and devices as possible. So when somebody takes our training, we have them try a ton of different products. I guess they're from companies that could be considered competitors, but really it's just a beautiful symbiotic relationship so that the professional can get their hands on as many different ingredients and tools as possible. So you can figure out really what niche is right for you and how you want to kind of niche down and specialize, because it's kind of hard to figure that out without the opportunity to test and try and play with product.
Yeah. So can you tell me, let's get in the minds of like your target market, your students, and I guess your customers, right? Are they two separate markets? Are they the same in this case? Are they like they start off as students and then after they graduate, they work with Herbal Skin Solutions and work with some of your products over there, or do they come up with their own products? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so most of the people that start with the Aesthetics Academy, they're either out of school or, they've been practicing for quite a while and they want to refine their craft. So our target market is beauty industry professionals. Licensed estheticians, primarily solo estheticians, are truly who we cater to. And that's just because of, my personal experience and how I was thrown into this market. I felt like I needed more support as a solo esthetician. So that's the gap and the need that we're fulfilling.
Okay. And then how about the herbal skin solutions? Like, how do you get your product out there? How do you promote that? And I guess who's your target market in that realm?
Yep. So basically the same target market. I do have a retail side of the shop just because my clients and friends and family like to shop our products as well. But
Yeah.
Primarily our demographic is for the wholesale beauty professionals that are coming in to stock inventory for their spa or salon. And we connect with them mostly through word of mouth referrals, which, I mean, for me, that's the best compliment that anybody could ever give in the treatment room or from a professional company standpoint. Word of mouth referrals are like gold. They're just amazing. But we also try to go to professional events. We love doing trade shows like NASM Pro, the Beauty Business Summit. IECSC is a fun one. Right now, we're taking the back seat.
It's a little tougher now.
Yeah, we're kind of in limbo. So lately, we've been doing a lot of FaceTimes with our clients to walk them through getting set up with e-commerce, just so everybody can kind of pivot and adapt to this new normal for the time being. And David, I know you said to show up in your Sunday best basically for the podcast. And I did a chemical peel on myself with our nano infusion device 2 days ago. So my face is kind of peeling, as you can see, but
you look great.
It's all for learning purposes.
No worries. That's awesome. Now this is a good segue, like with all the craziness that's going on now. You're working with a lot of business owners and in the skincare field. Like, how have they been adjusting, adapting, and what would you suggest in these crazy times?
Yeah, it's a lot for everybody, isn't it? I mean, we're all in this together, so that's the beautiful thing. And as much of a tragedy as the situation is, and as crappy, honestly, as it is, there's so much light and goodness coming from it. And I'm so proud of all of our CIT PIN providers and the professionals that I work with. They have been adapting and pivoting their business and figuring out how they can serve their clients from afar. And I've seen most of them start doing virtual consults. I've seen them start offering facial kits, like an at-home facial kit of sorts, and doing lots of online tutorials so they can continue to keep up with their results at home. And so many of them have switched over to e-commerce and have brought all of their products live online. And a lot of them are now even starting to sell to people in states aside from theirs, people that they otherwise never would have connected with if they weren't on e-commerce. So that's been really cool to see. I love how quickly everybody's just flowing with the tides of change instead of fighting against it. And we work with a really incredibly resourceful bunch.
Nice. Yeah, and I totally agree with you. Just like as an entrepreneur, business owner, you have to change with the times, or else we would still be watching, videos on a VCR or using, film cameras, right? And we're not using digital cameras anymore. Really, I mean, the cameras are as good on the smartphone now. So, definitely times have changed. And as an entrepreneur, we got to think outside the box and pivot and change. Now, before, all the craziness has happened, I mean, were your customers, your students, your entrepreneurs, were they already considering e-commerce ahead of time, but now just pretty much just expedited that process?
Yeah, for the most part, I spoke on this topic. I was teaching a class on how to set up your e-commerce store and why you need one. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
essentially it opens up your market instead of
Yeah.
having to connect with your customers on odd hours. Think of it this way. If you're booked full time in the treatment room and your clients want to come in to pick up product, it's so much easier just to go online and order it than it is to try and find a time that works for everybody. And also, like, think about your boundaries. Getting those late night texts at like 10 o'clock when you should be sleeping
Yeah,
and all
exactly.
hours of the night, like it's exhausting. And I'm
Yeah.
just speaking from personal experience.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm really glad to see a lot of the providers that I know were on the edge about e-commerce have really taken this as a push to get
Yeah.
involved. And I've worked with a couple different platforms. I know a lot of other estheticians use Squarespace, which is great if they're already set up that way for merchant services. I'm a Shopify super fan
Oh,
because
okay.
their customer service is just amazing. I mean,
Nice.
I've been on a call with them for 4 hours. I'm not even kidding you. They stayed on
Wow.
the phone with me for 4 hours because I needed help programming an app
Yeah.
integration into our site.
Oh, wow.
Um,
So now what I'm curious, like from a Shopify standpoint, what can you do that's beyond the normal e-commerce site that you've done with Shopify?
Oh my gosh, where do I even get started? So it's pretty much plug and play. So they have thousands of templates for you to choose from. So you just add a product at a time. That's super simple. You can customize your layout, and they have thousands of different apps basically for anything you need.
Yeah.
So an esthetician could set up a subscription platform or a membership model, which, once we get to the other side of all of this craziness that's going on,
Yeah.
once we are done with social distancing and everybody can start going back into the spa and it's safe, a membership platform is incredible. And so are subscriptions for your products
Yeah.
because, like I was talking about with boundaries, it's so difficult to find that time that works for you and your client if you don't have a receptionist to come in and pick those products up.
Mm-hmm.
And if somebody is in on a subscription, they're never going to run out of their
Yeah, it's
professional
already
grade product.
scheduled, and you
Yes,
can start forecasting your revenues, your income, and everything else
exactly.
too.
Exactly. That secured revenue is really nice to have. It helps the professional to, just plan your life. You're able to
Yeah.
plan your trainings for the rest of the year, plan your inventory, plan a vacation. It's nice to have that secured
Yeah.
income.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And the way I look at it too, and quite a few business experts have really talked about this, is you build your business as if you're going to sell it, right? Not necessarily you're going to sell it, but you build it so that way it's scalable. It's easy, someone will want to buy it. But if you look at a business and your core piece is just you, so what are they really buying, right? They're just buying a client list. That's it. But if they're buying an engine of a business that can run on its own without the business owner, now you have a much more valuable business. So at that point you might not even want to sell it, right?
Exactly. It's like a well-oiled machine. That's the way to do it.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
So
So
getting up on e-commerce is so important. I hope everybody that's listening to this goes online,
sure.
they create their online store. And another thing that can be really helpful for this, just during this transitional time that we're in, I have everybody's finances and their best interest in mind. And there's just a lot of uncertainty about how long this is going to last. So
Yeah.
something that could really help everyone is put those products on your website, list the retail price, and as soon as you make a sale, then go to the professional website that you order from and do drop shipping directly to your client. So wait until you have that secured income to make the purchase. And that way you're not sitting with a bunch of money in inventory and it just sitting
So
there.
just, don't have a bunch of products already sitting there. Just there's a term for that in the manufacturing world. I think it's called just in time. Yeah, I think it's just in time. So as soon as someone orders, that's when you produce the product. That's when you ship it out. So yeah, I totally get it. It's, because there's so much uncertainty. Now, what are some of the fears and pushback that business owners and entrepreneurs have said to you, like, I don't want to build an e-commerce site, or I'm afraid? Like, what are they afraid of?
You know, it's awkward being, how do I say this? Getting past the fear of being seen, I think it is. So when you set up your e-commerce, it really helps if you go online. I'm encouraging everyone to do live videos, get on Facebook Live, get on Instagram Live, just like we're doing right now. And, you know, this is a personal block that I've had to get past. And it's just getting out of your own head, because once you do it, you realize, like, okay, that really wasn't that scary. And, you know, like setting up a website, that sounds super intimidating. I get it. I was there too. Like it can make you feel a little frazzled, but once you dig into it and you have that customer support, like from Shopify or Square or another company that has a really exceptional customer service team, you'll see it's not as hard as you thought. And sometimes we are our own biggest problems. You know, we just need to get out of our own way and let things flow.
Yeah. And I guess, are there any steps to kind of ease into that? Like, obviously watching videos like this, learning from other professionals, right? Absolutely. I mean, any other suggestions that you would say?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. There's so many incredible resources in our industry. I truly believe we are working in the most beautiful industry because our community is so strong. So Facebook, there's hundreds of communities, and everyone is so open to sharing information, and really, like, that's how we empower one another. We share information. So the Esthetics Academy, our platform for education, we have a blog there that has a ton of helpful information. I update that once or twice a month. Nice. Daniela Warner is a mentor and a dear friend of mine. I follow her podcast as well. There's just so many helpful people in our industry. So even following, you know, skinfluencers on Instagram and really just finding those people whose message resonates with you and using that as inspiration for yourself.
Nice. Love it. Yeah. So now let's jump into a time machine and go back in time. Okay. Now, from the very, very start, like, how did you get started in this industry?
Oh, wow. In aesthetics? Okay. Man, we're going way back. Well, as a kid, do I go back to childhood, school? Let's see, how far are we going back? I've always been interested in the fact that plants and just all of this plant life here on Earth was made to benefit our skin, our internal organs, just to really boost our quality of life. So, I've really always been into holistic medicine and healing that way. And after I graduated aesthetics school, I was thrown into alternative medicine and eventually opened up my own practice. And I've just been in love with the industry ever since. It really started when I was a kid. My neighbor was a hippie. We used to make homemade skincare products then, which now, I mean, I see somebody doing a DIY, putting lemon on the face, and I want to freak out. But now I understand the molecular structure of products and ingredients a bit more.
When did you start the business?
The business was 4 years ago in February officially, but it was actually 5 years because it took me about a year to write curriculum from scratch.
Okay. So your curriculum came first, and then the herbal skin solutions.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
So basically the curriculum started just out of a need. I was honestly working 3 jobs while I had started my own practice. One of them was as a marketing director, one was as a bartender just to make ends meet, and the other was aesthetics, working full-time as an esthetician. And I had
Oh.
all these other jobs to support that passion.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until I found microneedling that I was able to really get the financial freedom I needed, because I was getting like the most incredible results. So once I found that special power treatment, I was able to really dive completely into the world of aesthetics.
So at that point, when you first started that, how did you find your clients? Was it family, friends? Did you go straight into social media? Did you start spending, money on AdWords or Facebook ads or Instagram ads? Like, how did that start?
So mostly the way I first got clients was I was working in this alternative medicine clinic. So I was also an IV nutritionist there. So I would administer vitamins intravenously.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, which is incredible. I mean, to heal the skin on a cellular level and work topically, my gosh, the results are just amplified. But while I had started there, I had these two other jobs. So I would wear shirts that say, ask me about my face. And I would have a fresh, I would be peeling and that would start conversation. I would wear shirts like that to the grocery store and just strike up conversations. I set up a sunscreen booth at tennis tournaments at a local country club. I would go to women's empowerment events. I would do the Chamber of Commerce. It was just really out and about in my community and just trying to figure out how I could educate and serve the community and help them with their needs.
I love that, so you're saying that you didn't just start a business and sat there and expected clients to just come to you, right? You actually had to hustle and get out there and meet people, engage with people, and now, how did it go from that to, I guess, were you trying to recruit others into your training program at that point, or did you have products that you were working on the side? Like, how did that work?
It's actually kind of funny how it evolved. I feel like I blinked and this all happened overnight, honestly. I was expecting none of this to unfold the way that it has. So when I was full-time in the treatment room, the results I was getting, they were incredible. And for that reason, I wasn't seeing my clients as often, but they were turning into walking billboards, right? So I started having other estheticians come to me and say, hey, what'd you do on my client? I saw that they had a treatment with you and I want whatever they did. So fast forwarding a little bit more, I wanted to start my own practice, which I did, but I didn't have a medical director at the time. And so I could not order the microneedling device. So I said, you know what, there's some things that I would like to improve on this device anyways. So I went directly to the manufacturer and said, let's change this, let's improve this, so on and so forth. And from there, I started just talking to the other estheticians that were seeing my work. And I made these products starting out for my clients, the people who were coming to see me for treatments. And it gained popularity really quickly with other estheticians just from what their clients were using. And before I knew it, I was so busy doing trainings with other estheticians, I was getting pulled out more and more from the treatment room side of things. I was never expecting to be full-time doing training. I was really just doing that to help the people that asked, but I figured I could help so many more people with the results. So just going a little bit deeper into it, I had really bad cystic acne scarring, and microneedling changed my life. I had piercings here and here. I was a rebellious teenager. But you never know now. If you look at my face, you can't see any scarring. And that's because microneedling completely healed my skin. I know we're not supposed to say cure, but it is my cure-all.
It worked. That's really all that matters. It worked.
Yes, and I knew I had to share that. And I knew if I was able to share that in a widespread way with other professionals, they could work on hundreds of people. They could work on their clients. And, ever since then, microneedling's it's blown up. It's huge, and it's helped so many people. I mean, the glow is nice. You know, if you have pigmentation or large pore size, it helps for that. But I really got into it because of scarring and seeing just the difference that makes in somebody's personality. I know I'm like talking a lot, but do you want to hear a really cool story?
And it shows your passion and your, you know, your belief in like, yes, this works because you've been through it.
Yes.
So now let's fast forward. So you found your niche, right? You started training estheticians, and then you started building the products, right? So now how are you growing your business, and where do you see it in the next year, 3, 5 years from now?
Yep. So we're growing our business just by continuing to support the professionals that we work with any way we can. So they are my boss, but basically the professionals, whatever they need. So basically anytime the professionals that we work with come up with an idea, I do my best to try and bring that to life for them, whether that be a product or a resource. And right now we're working on expanding the resources that we offer. So when you onboard our device, you get a whole slew of training materials. Online training is a face-to-face, kind of like what we're doing now, where one of us guides you through the treatment. We work on technique and different things like that. And with so many people wanting to do online training right now, because we all have the time to do it, that one-on-one is we're getting a little bit crazy busy with that. So we're transitioning into creating a platform specifically for that.
Like videos, like a learning management system, I'm guessing.
Definitely. Yeah. So right now we only have training available to CIT PIN. It's our device owners. So creating this platform will allow us to offer that to anybody that wants to learn. And of course, we're limiting that to professional only. I do not think anybody that does not understand the intricacies of the skin.
So they're just not ready for that yet. It has to be someone that's been through the schooling and has some experience. Okay, now they want to take it to the next level. They want to add this in their repertoire. Then that's when they should go to you to learn about this piece. Right?
Exactly. And we're just trying to facilitate all of the helpful resources, all of the information that they need. Because it's a lot. So typically our hands-on training classes are about an 8 to 10 hour day, depending on the size of the class and where everybody's skill set is at, and if they've done their homework or not, which is always interesting. But so if you're not going to a hands-on class, which, you know, I honestly am a little bummed out about, I'm really missing everybody's faces.
It's a different experience when you see someone in person. Right?
I know. Well, you know, we try to teach the technique as best we can, but you just, pressure is one thing that you just have to feel. And most of us estheticians, we're hands-on learners, which, you know, online is great and we'll do what we can with it. But the pressure is just something, it really helps to learn in person. But in the time being, we're going to make the best of the situation and really beef up our online training platform.
So typically your class, I'm sorry, I'll interrupt.
No, I was just going on with the long-term dream and goals here.
No, it's all good. Please continue. So now that's current, right? So what about, 3 years from now or 5 years from now? Where do you see?
I like this blue sky imagineering you're doing here. So fast forwarding 3 years from now, we will have a farm. I will be growing and singing to every single ingredient that is being broken down and put in your products. So yes, just the intention of the energy that's going into the products.
So you want to manage the whole supply chain essentially, right? Yes. All from the very start, from Mother Nature, all the way to getting into your clients' hands.
Yes, a place where people can come and learn and hopefully one day pick their own ingredients and learn hands-on from literally from seed to stem as it goes into your products.
Nice. And that's your 3-year goal, you think, or 5-year? Or
Oh, that's our 3-year goal. Check
3-year
back with
goal.
me in a couple
Nice,
years.
nice.
Hopefully I'll be calling you in a year from now saying, come visit the farm.
Yeah, I love it. Now let's talk a little bit more about your classes too. I'm curious, like how big are your class sizes typically? And and you mentioned it was 8 to 9 hour days. Is it 8 to 9 hour days, or is it like a whole weekend or multiple weeks? How does that program work?
Good questions. So the hands-on classes, we keep very small, just so everybody has plenty of one-on-one attention.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has the opportunity, basically, as long as they're willing and they have no absolute contraindications, to get a hands-on treatment. So with that, it's really important that we have plenty of time and energy focused into every person that's working hands-on. So we max the class out at 4 people per educator. So we may have, up to, let's see, an 8-person class, but there would be 2 educators there. And all of the trainers that are on our team, they're people that I've connected with in trainings, people that have taken the class themselves, and I've seen them just take off and excel and do extremely well with their clients' results. And they really have an incredible background on the science of microneedling. They've put the work in studying.
Nice.
And it's a 8 to 10 hour day.
Mm-hmm.
We can sometimes get out a little bit early if everybody does their homework. But so there is a pre-study that goes into it. There's just so much information that goes into microneedling, and there's no known negative side effects from microneedling. The negative side effects come from either improper patient selection or your clients not following post-care properly. So it's just really important for us to go over all of this information in depth, but also for the professional to go through the pre-study beforehand, to take their exam, and to put the work in. And if somebody is not doing a hands-on training, I would say they're going to need that 8 to 10 hours in study time before they're ready to get started with actual microneedling. Because, the treatment itself, it's super easy to perform. Yes, you could watch a YouTube video and see how to do it. You could see some of mine. But the thing is, there's a lot of ingredients that don't play nicely with microneedling, and there's so much that could go wrong, and you could permanently damage somebody's skin for life if the wrong ingredients and some of the wrong techniques are used. So please, no DIY microneedling, people.
Yeah, for sure.
It's scary. Like the bloody faces, my gosh.
Ooh. Yeah.
Kim Kardashian made that a thing years ago.
Yeah, just go to a professional, right? Don't try it at home, or at least learn, go to a professional and learn before we're attempting any of these things.
Please, Dr. Lance Satterfield, he's another pioneer in the microneedling world. He has a book that we distribute and we send to everyone that has our device or takes our class, because we believe in it that much. We call it the microneedling Bible, essentially. I've heard that Lance is kind of scaling back on doing classes, but his resources are amazing. I highly recommend everything that he puts out.
Yeah, appreciate that. I'm sure our viewers will be glad to get that, look into the information and learn from him. Now, I guess we're pretty much close to our time now. Final question: what advice would you give for? I mean, in your field, I mean, you've been helping a lot of estheticians, like, for them to start their own practice, right? To get out there now, since you have a lot of experience in this. What would you recommend? What would you say to them? Like, hey, this is what you should do, or this is what you shouldn't do. Avoid these things. What would you say?
Okay, that's a great question. Oh man, first of all, get out of your own way. Be fearless. Go for your goals. If you feel in your gut that you're feeling called to share, do something, act on it, and trust your gut, because every time that you go against those intuitive feelings, something goes wrong. And I'm speaking from experience on that. We have these gut feelings and this intuition for a reason. I call it like my second brain. So trust that, trust in yourself, and don't be afraid to be seen. Share your knowledge freely. And instead of trying to sell anything, just educate, share your wisdom, share your knowledge. And really, when we give, we get. It will come back tenfold. That doesn't mean have that, oh, if I give, I'm going to get so much more. Kind of don't have that mindset, but just if you share what you love, it comes back. It always does.
Yeah, I love
Work
that.
hard, do right by people, and trust the vibes. They don't lie.
Sounds good. Yeah. Anything to avoid?
Anything to avoid? Yes. Oh gosh, let's see here. Things to avoid. Oh yes, like microneedling pigment into the skin. Please avoid doing that. Please avoid microneedling the faces until they're bloody, like the vampire facial. My gosh, that's a bloodborne pathogen's nightmare.
Yeah.
Minimal pinpoint bleeding is all you need for the platelet-derived growth factors to be released. Yeah, that's really it. Study and soak up as much information and knowledge as you can. I mean, even as I consider myself a teacher in the field, and a teacher is someone who's always learning and thirsty for more knowledge. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Keep it going.
Thank you so much for your time. Now, how can our viewers reach you?
You can find me at herbalskinsolutions.com, and from there you'll find links to Herbal Skin Solutions on Facebook, Instagram, and if you would like to connect with me directly, my name is Kaelin Jutras, and that's my name on Instagram at Kaelin Jutras, and on Facebook as well.
All right. Yeah, sounds great. And all the information, the resources will be down in the show notes, so no worries. Again, thank you so much for your time and your valuable knowledge, wisdom, and your experiences going through all this. I'm sure it will help a lot of people out there that are watching.
I hope so. I hope it serves everyone well.
Thank you. And see you, everyone.
Bye, guys.